Retrostudio. You know that game that all people want to re-emulate their old Roblox days of? It's also the reason why my channel single-handedly grown to the size that it is now. What makes this game so good the way it is? Of course, there's multiple reasons. For one, it's the most accurate representation of the old Roblox client stemming all the way back from 2009 to 2015. Or maybe it's just the community itself. Ooh, we're getting warmer towards the main topic of this video. One core element that makes Retrostudio so good is the events. Similar to the seasonal events that Roblox used to hold, Retrostudio has been doing its own inspired events from Roblox past events since October 2021. On April 15th, 2022, Retrostudio's Eggcon 2022 was released. I actually played this game for the sake of this review, and it's definitely an experience, alright. I'm not going to talk much about this game since it's a year old, but it's just a standard Roblox egg hunt, nothing special. Since you just wander around, find eggs on a big map, and there you go. However, those minor flaws didn't overcome its welcome. This event was praised for what it was. Overall, it was the first egg hunt after all. To turn the clock forward, several more events came and went. Some were good, and others were pretty bad. But then, on February 4th of this year, it was announced that submissions for the eggs for the next egg hunt were open. Naturally, this meant the next Retrostudio egg hunt was coming. Later towards the end of March, the event was finally teased and officially announced, and the winners of the Eggcon 2023 egg submission contest was revealed. To scribble height for the game, there was a spin-off game released on April Fool's Day titled Egg Battle. This game was just a reskinned version of Doomspire Brick Battle, but with a few several items being obtainable. These eggs are really easy to collect, and all you had to do was just play the game to get them, so nothing special. Inside the spectator area, the game teased several eggs that are going to be in the event and the release date of the game. Overall, this game was just a tie-in to stir in hype for the event. But finally, on April 4th, 2023, Retrostudio's Eggcon 2023 Around the Eggverse was released. Let's dive into it. As soon as you join the game, you're greeted by the sign telling you the story of the game. It is your job as the Egg Hunter to save the Eggverse from crumbling from the rogue guardians protecting the Eggverse. After that word salad, you're met with these 5 portals to 5 different and unique worlds. This is a real step up from last year's Egg Hunt, as there's more exploration and theming towards the eggs and maps. As you progress through the game, the more eggs and objectives there will be. Let's kick things off with our first world, Sunnyside Isle. Sunnyside Isle sort of acts as the tutorial, giving you your first taste for the gameplay of this event. Speaking of gameplay, let's talk about it for a second. Unlike last year's Egg Hunt, as you aimlessly walk around in it, Around the Eggverse gives you 3 different mobility options to use at your disposal, that being long jumping, super jumping, and diving. This makes this game really easy to navigate in, as it makes it a chore to use. The map itself isn't really that huge, but it makes it less repetitive instead of walking around the map. I'll touch on that a little bit later. The first world of the game takes you on a tropical island filled with civilization and many landscapes. There are also many NPCs to talk on this island, but they really don't do much. They just kind of act as filler to make this game feel more alive, but it's a nice addition so it doesn't feel like a sandbox. The eggs in Sunnyside Isle aren't really that challenging to collect. It's expected to be since this is the first world you enter. Let's talk about the toucan egg. As you approach this egg, it'll attempt to fly away from you. However, it really doesn't go far most of the time as it flies into a nearby structure, giving you an opportunity to collect the egg. More eggs with behaviors like this is the egg of the fabled warrior. This egg is kept inside of a castle keep awaiting for a worthy opponent. Once you try to get in contact with this egg, it'll try to counterattack you by slashing it with its katana. If you fail to dodge his attacks, you'll die. But on the flip side, if you avoid his attempts of slaughtering you, he'll eventually get tired. You can finally claim the egg. Another addition to the eggs is the teamwork eggs. Teamwork eggs were originally created for Roblox's Eggcon 2014 event. As the name implies, you need a team of people to get these eggs. The Lost Egg of Tribes is the first teamwork egg you'll come across on your adventure. All you have to do to get this egg is find a specific hut located not too far from the spawn area. Inside, you'll find 2 pedestals that you and another person can stand on. Once you both stand on the platforms, the door in front of you will open up to a secret cavern so you can get the egg. I really love the way the teamwork eggs are represented in this game, as you'll see later down the line how important they will be. Overall, Sunnyside Isle is a good opening to expect in this egg hunt, with many places to explore and eggs to find. Let's move on to the next world, Omni Capital. Omni Capital is the second world featured in this game, and it's a great one at that. The world takes place in a European city district, with many grassy fields and ancient sculptures. With good theming comes with great eggs. Let's start off with the court jester egg. To find this egg, you'll first need to find an entrance to this collapsed building. Once you make a pathway to get in, you have to go through the small obstacle course, using the different mobility options that are really handy here. Navigating further inside the mess, you'll find a room with an egg kept inside. The court jester himself doesn't really seem to do much as he just hops around. Getting closer will kill you. Soon after you die, you'll spawn right back to where you died so you can pick up the egg. Another egg that fits the theming of this world perfectly is the chef cuisine egg. This egg starts the series of quests where you need to follow a set amount of objectives to obtain the egg. You're tasked to help out the chef cuisine egg to open his upcoming restaurant, but he can't do it alone, so he needs your help to gather ingredients around the town. The quest also marks the location locations of what items you need to find, ranging from being on the street or from food markets. One thing I love about this quest is how the NPCs around town comment on how the egg is stealing business from the locals. It really adds some quirk to this world. After you find all the ingredients that he needs, you'll get the egg. This one also includes the second teamwork egg, the Lost Egg of Ruins. To get this egg, you need 3 players to step on the plates scattered across the map. Then after the 3 corresponding people stand on the plates, then a trapdoor opens on each plate. Once you traverse through the caves, you'll meet up with your other teammates and then you'll be rewarded with the egg. Some honorable mentions are the snail egg, the egg of Stitch Chance, and the egg of Gladiator, because I like murdering innocent people who dare try to steal my Retrostudio items. Moving on from Omni Capital, the next world to transition to is Lost Egypt. You get it? Lost Egypt? Like Lost Egypt? Haha. Funny. Anyways, Lost Egypt is the 3rd world in this adventure, my 2nd favorite world in the game. This is where the eggs and objectives really start to ramp up in difficulty. For starters, the size. This map compared to the Sunnyside Isle and Omni Capital are outmatched by Lost Egypt. If you haven't been using or haven't realized your other controls, why haven't you been using them? Then Lost Egypt will kick you into shape then to use them accordingly. This world takes place in ancient Egypt. Shocker, right? Anyways, here's a short list of why I love this world that I dedicated an entire section to it so I can put filler in the video so this video gets up to 8 minutes. The soundtrack. The shattering effect on the ancient vase egg when you break it. This tomb guard NPC warning you that you shouldn't go further into the tomb for the egg dressed of the chief. The unnecessary pulley system to bring you up to the surface while you could just dive and long jump instead. The occasional groans from the mummies around the map.
So you gotta risk it?
The mummies that arise in the several tombs in the dig site. The tumbleweed egg. The ancient vase egg changing proportions from each other to make them stand out. These statues. It's the only around the Eggverse world to show up on the popular games tab. Moving on from my biases, similar to Omni Capital, Lost Egypt has a fantastic lineup with its eggs. Like the egg of the pharaoh. This egg follows another quest just like Omni Capital. You're tasked by Empress Vasalka to go inside the pyramid. That's it. Just explore it. Let's jump over the obvious pyramid trap towards the entrance that I definitely didn't die in a couple dozen times and navigate through this maze. After finding your way out, you need to jump across these pillars surrounded by lava. For whatever reason changed when I was recording background footage. Nearly avoid these falling axes in this boulder to collect the egg. Another egg that really stands out is the egg of the snake charmer. To get this egg, you need to first charm the snake hurled onto this egg. Explore the village section of the desert until you find the shop up these stairs. Sneak past the shopkeeper to collect his flute in his bedroom. Finally, return back to the egg and you can charm the egg. Repeating the trend of the last 2 worlds, make our way to the last teamwork egg, the Lost Egg of Temples. In my opinion, this egg really requires a team to figure out. To get this egg, you first need 4 people to step on these 4 platforms to open this trapdoor. After the trapdoor opens, you go down in the hole to make your way down to this ancient door. If you paid attention to the surface, which I didn't show you, there are 4 obulets that have symbols corresponding to the password to the door. After you figure out what color symbols goes on the door, it opens to reveal another 4 plates. Once you stand on all of them, it reveals the egg that all your teammates do and yourself to collect. Overall, the teamwork eggs adds another layer of enjoyment to this event, adding a tribute to Roblox's past events. I really wish there was one in each world though, since it adds a lot of fun to working with other players and friends. After Lost Egypt, there's... hang on. There are only 3 worlds open. Well, after all, the event team for the Egg Hunt said that part 2 is coming soon. I guess we have to wait for it to come out, I guess. I'll see you on the flip side! Oh hey, part 2 is out. We can finally continue our adventure. After dusting off the Easter basket and sitting in the same desk for almost 5 months, we jumped straight back into our journey throughout the Eggverse for our first world, New York City, aka my favorite world in the game! New York City takes a lot of good things about the 3 previous worlds and packaged them up into one big goodie bag. Why do I adore this world so much in its entirety? I mean, it's totally not a reference to another game, but it's the aesthetic. You spawn in a small park with a pond, these bounce pads, and these buildings that have billboards giving off that this city is an actual city. And most importantly, the eggs. The best to start with is the golden goose egg. While this egg doesn't look visually appealing, the objectives to obtain this egg is the best by far. Around the map, you'll find these valuables ranging from a gold bar to a gold ring. Once you explore the city enough, go down the subway. I forgot to talk about the subway. And make your way down to this building. At first, these guards will stop you in your tracks unless you have one of the items on you. If you do carry one of these items, you're able to go inside. Then you're required to go through this puzzle to make your way to the egg. This puzzle actually made me use my brain for once, especially in this room. We have to get to the corresponding numbers from this elevator. Another egg that has a great objective is the Phantom of the Egg. This egg also follows another quest, where you need to follow the outgoing investigation towards the Deviled Egg Gang. You then need to make your way down the sewers nearby to attempt to sneak past these 2 guards in suits. However, they'll stop you in your tracks and call you a filthy topsider if you try to go past them. After being blocked from proceeding, you report back to the detective Maskew, who later tells you to get a disguise in the suited salesman. Going back into the sewers where you got blocked earlier, you'll finally grant access to 5 sewer pipes. If you choose to correct one, you'll get kicked out of the sewers exit by this beach. Now all you gotta do is is fall down the secret shaft, do a small obby, and you're rewarded with the egg. New York City has the best egg objectives in this whole event, forcing you to travel all across 2 cities to find the eggs. Unfortunately, this world doesn't have a teamwork egg like the previous 3, but having a vast lineup of eggs makes up for it. Some honorable mentions are the Egg of Luck and the Retro Egg Builder. Just see my reaction to first seeing this egg. Oh, it broke! Oh, Builder Man! Builder Man! Retro Builder. Anyways, I'm starting to run out of things to say about this world since this is the best one. Just play it already! But finally, after making it through the adventure, we made it to the last world of the game, the center of the Eggverse. This world makes it immediately apparent that the world is a lot different from the last 4. For starters, most of the eggs you find in this world are at spawn. Keyword being spawn. The eggs found here are simple in concept but executed great. Eggs have the corrupted egg of mind control. This egg isn't the nicest. Approaching the egg will get you flung far away from its beam. However, fooling anyone else to get vexed by the egg makes it vulnerable and you can get the egg. You could say that we're playing mind games. Moving on, the main attraction of this world is entering this conveniently placed cannon, and right here at the spawn area will be taking you to this screen. The center of the Eggverse is broken up into 4 parts, each world having an egg to collect in it. For the sake of your time, I'll speed right through this. I'm going to find eggs on the least favorite subworld in the game. Talk to this NPC to review the 4 previous worlds in this obstacle course. Are you tired yet? Jump in for your turn to get the egg. Your task is to go to the swamp, follow the boulders, make some rocks to get the egg. Sometimes things don't work properly. Hold it to get this egg. Labyrinth. Okay, I got 4 levers. What? Do you have cutscenes in here? Alright. This is more than I was expecting. I don't know that was possible. If you didn't already figure it out already, center of the Eggverse is my least favorite world. I understand this world's supposed to be the climax of the game, but I feel like having 3 other places in the map that have objectives just makes this really small. Don't get me wrong, most of the eggs are pretty cool in concept, but it gets really repetitive after a while, especially with the subworlds. I mean, I don't hate the idea of subworlds. I mean, hell, you can't even use the cannon on mobile. Yikes. After obtaining all the eggs, there's one more challenge left. Remember the 3 teamwork eggs from the first 3 worlds? They have a purpose now. Making your way up to the spire, you find this beacon with 3 pedestals. Clicking on them places down all the treasure eggs, activating this portal to the villain of this event, the Timekeeper. What the fuck? What the shit? This is a boss fight. The Timekeeper is a saving grace for the center of the Eggverse, waiting for enough players to spawn in this arena to bring you face to face with the man himself. And honestly, this is the best I've seen from any Retrostudio game. A full fleshed out boss fight in a video game? I couldn't be more impressed than I already am, especially with the limitations of Retrostudio. Anyways, let's talk about this fight. As soon as you spawn in, you're equipped with the 2 weapons to take down Timekeeper. Timekeeper has an assortment of moves in his arsenal. He summons portals, those time-twisting eggs to kill you, these homing projectiles, a straight-line projectile, and he even has his own lackeys to stall you for time. Oh, that I forgot to mention the time limit? If you run out of time, Timekeeper will summon a black hole to kill all the remaining players. This boss actually is pretty challenging if you don't have the right team with you. Despite seeming like a bad thing, I actually like the time limit. It's a constant thing you should be worrying about, making you take certain risks to deal damage to Timekeeper. After trial and error, Timekeeper goes down. You can take his head with honor. Despite center of the Eggverse being lackluster, I still wouldn't call it the worst. It has some things that are done right and some that don't. In addition to the Timekeeper boss fight saves this world in its entirety, wrapping up this whole event in a nice red bow. Well, besides the bonus world for the last day of 2023, but that's not really important. Yes! We did it! Easter in September, right? All jokes aside, Retrostudio's EggCon 2023 was a really solid event. I could even call this the best Retrostudio event. The introduction of multiple worlds, egg objectives, and great gameplay really sets my expectations high for what's in store next. I wish I had more to say about this event, but I don't. Just play this game already. Just play it. I don't care what time you look at this video. Just play the damn game. I really enjoy this game. If you love Roblox's past EggCons, this will feel right at home for you. As for me, I'm gone. I'm gone.